All right, well, check this out. An Onkyo R1 stereo double cassette deck. Now this is a nice deck. Dolby B&C with HX-PRO. They're both auto reverse and they are both recording decks. Let's get them open, take a look inside here. See the auto reverse head right there with the erase head just to the left of it. Definitely been sitting a minute. This thing was actually abandoned. And then here is the other deck. Same auto reverse head with the erase head, this time on the right because it's running in the reverse direction. What do you think we're going to find on this thing? Think it's going to just need a set of belts? I'm not sure. Nice looking double auto reverse recording deck. Well, let's go ahead and get the top off and just take a visual peek-see around in there and see what we can see. One moment. Well, it certainly comes apart quite nicely. Did not want to fight at all, so that is a very good thing. And, whoa! This thing is packed. There's 10 pounds of crap in a 5-pound bag in this thing. Holy crap. It is dual motor, which is nice. So you can see two motors there, one for the capstan and one for the take-up. And all the big old switches over here that tell it whether it's a normal chrome metal, whether the tab's knocked out, whatnot. Probably all need to be serviced. Let's go ahead and flip it up and get it going in the right direction. Maybe there you can actually see one of the belts on here. Does it move? It actually does move. Oh no. I just barely touched it and look what happened to the belt. Oh yes, gummy belts. Didn't accumulate any gum on the fingernail, but it is going to need a set of belts, which is probably just two on this one. I doubt that it has more belts than just the two. Let's come around town. There is the capstan motor on the one side. Let me find a small screwdriver and just try to give it a little turnage. Well, you saw the flywheel try to move down here. Yeah, oh yeah, that belt. We might get a little bit lucky. Oh, just touching it. It's not at the gooey stage yet, but it's getting there. You can see the goo in the distance. Look at that capacitor. 22,000 microfarad, 25 volts. Wow. What does this thing got, like a 20 or 30 watt stereo amplifier built into it? I don't think so. I think they just wanted some extra robust regulation. Taking a look at the back of it, there is the serial number. And actually it's a RW490. It just says R1 on the front, I thought. Maybe R1 just means remote control. Maybe I missed the actual model number. Is probably down in a corner somewhere. Oh yeah, there it is. I totally missed it. RW490, sure enough. But yeah, pretty nice design. Not a fan of contact relays because the contacts do, well, corrode and oxidize over time, so that might need a replacement. Probably not in playback, but in record. And then it looks like we've got mirror images of the unit going on here. Not a bad looking unit. Who makes the microprocessor? Oh, it is actually Onkyo. Interesting. Probably rebadged something else. I'm blown away by the size of that filter capacitor on the power supply. Well, at a minimum, even before I power this thing up, I'm going to have to order a set of belts for it. Hopefully I can find just a set of capstan belts, because I don't believe this has any kind of mechanical counterage going on. So yeah, okay, well, that was a quick diagnosis at least. Let me go see if I can find some replacement flat belts. I might have some, I doubt it, and I wouldn't trust them because they would be new old stock, 30 plus years old. But let me go look on the Amazon and the eBay and see if I can find a set of belts and get them on order and get this thing back up and running once again. So I thought before I did anything, I'm going to go ahead and just power this thing on. It's probably going to make a mess of the belts, but I just want to make sure it does light up. I do have AC power applied, so I'm just going to hit the power button, and we'll see if the display does something. The mechanisms do try to ka-chunk, ka-chunk. And the motor, yeah, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it took up the belt. Okay, well, easy removal there. And this side did not take up the belt. So at least it powers up. So that's a good sign. Wow, nice, bright vacuum fluorescent display. Look at that. Well, I think, like I said, at this point, I can confidently look for a set of belts for this. Okay, so what I did, I just want to make sure the mechanism actually works. I went ahead and I put a jumper wire across this switch on that deck and across the same switch on the other deck. So effectively that switch is in the closed position right now. And I believe on these decks it uses the reel motor to drive the mechanism instead of the capstan motor. So let's power this thing on. And I'll get you a zoomed in view here. We'll hit play. And it does come up. And it should stop. And it might try to auto reverse. Actually, no, it's doing real rotation things. So it thinks the tape is working even though the capstan motors are not. Well, the capstan motor is running, but the capstans are not. And so let's go ahead and reverse the direction here. There we go, focused. Okay, so the head does turn, no problem. And then the other deck decided it would start working, because I obviously have it in some kind of a tandem mode. This should cause it to stop. And it does. So the heads will reverse in both decks. No problems. Stop. Forward. Reverse. Forward. Stop. And then everything else should work. Fast forward and rewind to work perfectly. Okay, well, I think I've seen enough that I can definitely order some belts for this thing and get it working once again. Okay, well, I did find a copy of the service manual, and I did print out this one page, and I'm looking specifically for part number 15, which is the capstan belt. It does appear. And so I did print out the parts list as well. And so over here at number 15, we've got a 2460-2436. And that's for deck number 1. Oh, a little bit got cut off. This is deck number 2, 2460-2436. Same exact part number. Now, I did manage to find a couple of these belts in Germany, but it says they will not post to United States. So I can't get those from Germany, doggone it. They were only like $7 a piece, so that's much better than this guy, who is out of Toms River, New Jersey. He wants $35 for a set of 2 belts. 2 of 2, I think that's what, Ben 2 of 2, I'm not sure, but supposedly it's a set of 2 for $35, plus another $14.32 in USPS ground advantage. That seems just a little bit high to me. Maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but this is going to be close to $50 and over $50 with tax. And I mean, it's a really nice deck. I might go ahead and splurge for it, but I might actually pull the mechanism out of this thing and tear it apart and see if I can go through my box of new old stock belts. I probably do have one in there somewhere, maybe 2 of them. I don't know. I'll have to get into it and spend some more time. But anyhow, there you go. Those are the part numbers for the belts. Anyhow, thanks for watching, everyone. I really appreciate it. Hopefully there will be a part 2. Maybe I can find some belts. Maybe somebody has a set of belts for this or can point me in the right direction to get belts at $5 to $10 a piece, plus maybe $5 in shipping to get them here. I think $50 for 2 belts is just a little extreme in my estimation. Well, I did manage to get one of the mechanisms out of this unit so I can disassemble it, because I couldn't have made it easy and just take out those two screws and maybe one here and one there, but no, look what they did. So that screw right there runs all the way from the front. You can see the threads on it right there. And then this screw, you can't even see the threads anymore. It's buried underneath the motor, so those two have to come out of the front side. Luckily, the mechanism does completely unplug from the unit, so that does make it nice. Now, I'm willing to bet that these are probably a different length. And if I were a betting man, I would probably be wrong, because they look exactly the same to me. So let's go ahead and take off the back side. Now, we'll have to unpeel this where the wires go under right here. I'll have to bring that up, and then we'll have to slide the wires off, making sure that they don't come out of here, because that's the head wires right there. You want them to be secured as much as possible. Same thing on this side. We'll slide that guy up, and then hopefully we can just move everything out of the way once the time actually comes. These should be plastic thread screws because they're going, well, into plastic. Oh, I mean, geez, it would have been nice if they would have given us a freaking connector right here to unplug for the motor, but no. It's that kind of wire that if you flex it more than 1 1/8 times, it just fatigues to death. So I need to remove those 4 pins from that board before I go any farther, because I don't want to fatigue this wire and have to replace it. So I'm going to get the soldering iron warmed up, and the solder sucker. We'll try to lift these up and suck the solder off of them. Hopefully I won't need the soldering iron. Hopefully the solder sucker will be more than adequate. One moment. Well, not the results I was looking for, but we got it up. We started to lift this one little piece of trace right there. I think it'll be okay. Worst case scenario, I can run a jumper down to this pin right there. So this might come out now. And it did. So I need to get the belt off of this and then try to do some kind of a measurement. I'm not sure with what. Maybe some string or some fishing line. Oh, that's going to be a nightmare. I'm just going to try to peel the belt off of this, and then we'll have to hit it with some acetone. Well, there's the belt. Maybe seen a couple of better days at least. Let me grab a paper towel to try to get the belt off of the screwdriver. No measure in that one. What about this side? How is it going to cooperate? Oh, much like the first side. Okay. Okay, well, I got most of it off. So I know the belt needs to run over to here, around, and then back that way again. Obviously, these are two different diameter capstan shafts. Yeah, that's going to have to be cleaned off completely. Look at all that wonderful goo that is stuck on there. But maybe, just maybe, I can run a fishing line around here or a string and get some kind of an approximate measurement. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to grab some belts and see what happens. So I need to clean this off. I'm going to pull these washers off here on the front side. That way I can remove both of the flywheels and actually service them. There's one small shim right there that needs to go back in place. And then, of course, this side I cannot get out because there is a freaking circuit board in the way. Fabulous. That is just awesome. Why do you make stuff like this? Why? So I guess I can unsolder all of these switches right here, including the one that I jumpered right there. Or we can just try to clean it with some acetone and a cotton swab and a paper towel. Oh yeah, it's dry as a popcorn fart. Do you hear that? Oh yeah. That thing is screaming for service. Oh man, I don't want to have to unsolder those two little wires that probably go to a little teeny tiny solenoid down here, right in there. So yeah, you can see the plunger for the solenoid right there. Wow, really right now? Oh, unbelievable. Well, I did manage to get the board off of it. That's a good thing. Let's get this nasty, gluey flywheel out of here. And once again, one shim down here. Of course, does not wish to cooperate. I don't want to touch anything. It's just so nasty. Oh, that got it. And they are obviously two different sizes. One is the smaller diameter capstan shaft, and one is a larger diameter capstan shaft. Well, we'll get those cleaned off and then try to find a couple of belts that I might have in stock. I went through my box and there are a few belts that might conceivably work. But, oh shoot. You wouldn't believe this. That's part of the brake mechanism. It's broke. So that little guy is supposed to slam on there and break it. The gift that keeps on giving. I might just end it at this point. So disgusted. Okay, here we go. Intro on the Onkyo. Both cameras are recording. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3. Audio sync. Audio sync number 2. 1, 2, 3. Check, check, check. Okay, here we go. Part 3. Okay, so looking here in the back, I went ahead and I jumpered that center switch on both decks. That's the switch that tells it that there is a tape inserted. And so that way I can run the unit with the door open. I just want to look at the mechanism down here and make sure it tries to do something. So, and I think the mechanism is actually driven from the reel motor. So, and I get nothing. Did I not jumper the right switch? Of course, I can't do it two-handed. Huh, one moment. Okay, hopefully we have the right switch jumpered this time. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3. Check, check, check. All right, well, I did manage to find a set of belts on eBay for $35. It's just a hair steep, and then $14.32 shipping through UPS. These should ship through the mail at like $5 maybe at the most. I don't know if I want to spend $50 or $25 a belt to repair this cassette deck. I'm going to look around and see if I might be able to just pull one of the decks out, disassemble it, and measure the actual belt dimensions. And then maybe I've got one in my new old stock belt box. But we shall see. There might be a part 2 to this. I'm not quite sure if I want to invest $50 into a used cassette deck, although it is a very nice used cassette deck, so it might happen. Anyhow, thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great day. Bye-bye. All right, everyone, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Remember, with your help, we can try to keep these things out of the landfill, out of the recycle bin, and out of the e-waste facility. Everyone, thanks for making it to the end of this diagnosis video. I really, really appreciate it. Everyone, have a great day. Bye-bye. Warning, some of the clips in this video might be out of order.